You helped me with that too. I didn't understand that until you explained it, so thank you
I
for that.
appreciate it,
Well,
my man.
can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, what's up?
I explained Polkadot to somebody. I want to make sure if I have to go back to them. I was trying to explain that, if there's a game that comes out called Monopoly,
Mhm.
right? And all of a sudden you can play Monopoly and you can use that Monopoly money to buy um, certain assets in the Monopoly world, and they actually have value, right? And they
Mhm.
pay you. Now, what you're saying to me is if you don't see value in it, is you're saying that because the monopoly money, you can only use monopoly money in monopoly world, right? And that's why I was
Mhm.
describing Polkadot. But if you're telling me that it has no value because this money doesn't look like your money, what I'm saying is your money has no value in this world. And in this world, this money has value, and this world is very valuable. So you have to have this money to play in this world.
Mhm.
So don't tell me because it looks different, it has no value. You have to understand the context of it.
Yeah,
Is
and I
my
think you're going to
understanding
see the
correct or no?
blending. Well, I think you're going to see a blending of with metaverses, which is
Okay.
Facebook's big play. I think you're going to see this big play where you have Microsoft, you have Facebook, now Meta, like trying to compete in this world to basically create the metaverse. Their own metaverses. I think what's going to happen is you're going to
So you think that just like Polkadot, there's be these different sections that have their own kind of currency internally?
Yes, I think Facebook's going to have 100%. They're going to have their own, and Microsoft's going to have their own. They're all going to have their own NFTs. They're all going to have their own metaverses, and and I
That's
think Polkadot is going to be at an interesting point because let's just say they don't build on Polkadot. Let's just say, Facebook's makes something proprietary, Microsoft makes something proprietary, and then you have Polkadot, where BitCountry is like the front runner for it, where now anybody can go on Polkadot and they can create their own metaverse. Okay, they can use that as a
yeah,
base, open source
yeah.
base. Well, now if let's say Facebook wants to incorporate NFTs into their metaverse and they want to do it in a cool way, they have to develop that from scratch on their own network, on their own platform. Whereas if I built in BitCountry, I can snap my fingers and instantly integrate with Quartz and
Uh,
and build my own NFT and use their NFT network instantly that they've built, spent, raised hundreds of millions of dollars and perfected. It interconnects instantly. And then
cool.
and now imagine I want to do payment processing and I want to do lending, I want to do borrowing, then there's parallel. And then, which is another one. There's all these different things that are all coming out all together where in Polkadot, you have like this whole network of people that you're instantly connect, all these companies that are all very, very focused and targeted in one thing very, very
So if
well.
it was like, so that makes me think, so that means like, so when you go to a casino, right, you give money, you get chips, and you
Mhm.
have to use the chips to bet, right? But if they, like Caesars might have a relationship with a win or something where you can use the chips from Caesars and trade them in for wins or use
Yeah.
those at win.
Yep,
Is that kind of work?
exactly. Yep,
Okay.
there's all this interconnectivity. But imagine this. Imagine Win had a really good slot machines. And
Mhm.
then you have MGM is killer at their sports betting technology with the big screen. And again, I don't gamble, so I don't know about these worlds. But let's just say that you have, they do this really well, they do this really well.
Mhm.
Instead of them being siloed and trying to make agreements with each other on how they're going to transfer payments. So like if someone wants to take their crap earnings and instantly throw it on horse number four. Like if they were siloed as two separate companies, there's a massive amount of work that would have to go through to connect
True.
those. Because
Very true.
there's all the security and the whole idea is you don't want to get hacked. We have to have all the security on both sides.
Yeah,
Well, with
especially
Polkadot,
casinos, right? That's probably a great example.
no, there's so much. Yeah, like they have to like completely keep everything siloed. So the thing with Polkadot is you're siloed, you're completely separate, but you're both running on the same operating system. So if you say like, okay, you send me over, if someone wins craps, just all you got to do is snap your fingers and do a connection integration inside of the same technology. It passes the data and it's trusted because
That's
Polkadot
cool.
knows that both of you are trusted. You're both in
I
my network. You're
gotcha. So
both trusted.
it's like an exchange medium almost. It's like,
And then
yeah,
so when you look at Polkadot and what they like, it's like the whole idea is there's all these dots and they're all connected. So they do these things like dots everywhere, like connect the dots. That's the idea of Polkadot, like how the name comes.
that
I'm
is so
assuming.
awesome. So like the casinos don't have to bother with it. They like, oh yeah, here you just use this app or whatever, and you can get what you need and then play.
Well, you could say we want NFTs. Hey, Quartz, and Quartz
Ah,
was already going to have those things, kind of like Zapier. If you're familiar with
yeah.
Zapier, how to connect software, they're gonna say, oh yeah, like cool, yeah, you want to use NFTs in your metaverse? Like, yeah, here, just plug on in, come on in. And now all the users too of my Quartz are now can see big countries members and back and forth. Everyone's like working together and trying to provide the best service by connecting things together inside of
That
one
makes
community.
sense.
Where, as you could imagine Facebook, they're going to have to create everything themselves. There's going to be very few, if any, third-party
Yeah,
solutions, which
that's going to be
how,
hard to keep up with, and a lot of they have capital, but that's going to be hard to keep up with because you have to be good at everything
and this
to get
isn't
it
a
all
little
done.
company. It's the eighth largest crypto company in the world. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
Ethereum's
yeah.
worth 50 billion right now, and it hasn't even just launched, and it's worth 50 billion dollars.
Hmm,
So this isn't like some tiny little rinky-dink company.
right.
This is a big player that I think could, Facebook could lose 100% lose market share. And Facebook, we don't know how good they are at creating metaverses. We know how good they were with their social platform, but we don't know how good they are at any of this other
I was
stuff.
just telling someone that the other day. Yep.
Yeah.
Just because they're
And
good at that doesn't mean they're good at this.
MySpace, I remember reluctantly leaving MySpace for Facebook at one point. Like it was, no one thought MySpace was ever going to be toppled. Obviously Facebook's done a much better job, but
Well, Yahoo and Google just took it over like a playground bully.
yeah, because and they're going to be stretched thin, and that's the thing. Market's changing so fast, and you know how it is working with big companies. Who can pivot faster, Facebook or big country? In big country with all the resources of tens of billions of dollars of other companies that instantly plug into,
Oh,
versus
yeah.
Facebook having to do something they've never done before and test the market.
And these smaller
And
companies are cooperating, like you say. So I was just thinking, one time I was explaining this to somebody when these smart companies are cooperating, it reminded me like Jurassic Park. We have the raptors, and you're like, one raptor is dangerous, but three of them coordinating and hunting you is real dangerous, right? Hard to
yep.
compete with. Yeah.
And all you have to do too is show one place where Facebook is fucking up.
Mm,
Like, and then people start to go, oh, well, if you go on Big Country's blah, blah, blah. And again, it wouldn't be Big Country. Big Country is a company that's creating the software for other people to create
right.
metaverses.
Right.
So, but just, as an example, you would say like, oh yeah, well, you can use your NFTs freely over here. You could do this. And these companies can pivot so quick and so smoothly. And just a real quick side topic, like one of my ex-employees, he's made a fortune with NFTs. I mean, he's launched some huge NFT
Man, this is
platforms, multi-millionaire. And I don't know if you saw that, I don't know the full specifics, but like Ashton Kutcher was supposed to launch this NFT, and it got like about like cats smoking weed, and he hit this issue, and it like he spent millions and millions of dollars, and there was all this time he screwed up, they hit a bug. So my ex-employee literally in 12 hours recreated their whole platform and then just knocked them out of the water. Like, hey, look,
oh
we
my
were able
gosh.
in 12 hours to do what you guys couldn't do with a huge dev team and millions and millions and millions of dollars invested, and it went
Ouch.
viral.
Ouch.
But that's the world. And that was one guy. That was one employee with that's one, my ex-employee who has no company and no employees. And he was able to duplicate better platform. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
the world's
Maybe we
changing,
should do
man.
another talk about NFTs sometime. But would you be willing to maybe I don't know if they got a good enough audience to do like a Ask Me Anything something after they watch this video? Would you be up for that
Yeah,
sometime?
dude,
Okay,
I'll talk this stuff all day.
cool. Yeah, yeah, I know, me too, man. That's why we're over time, and that I knew
All
that was
right.
gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen.
Always.
I can keep going, but we can cut it off here and save some gas in the tank.
There we
Hey
go.
man, thank you so much, and thanks for the stuff that you did for me before this video. I mean, it's sometimes when somebody just knows where to put the wires in the stereo system, it makes all the
Yep.
difference. So thank you for that. And I
Without
would
my
recommend
brother, I would have
anybody.
been hurting.
Oh, your brother's stuff was really good too. William, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, Bill,
Yeah, his stuff
Bill
is
and
really
Phil. Yeah, but he took a lot of time to really educate me and spoon feed me and made me feel comfortable after a while. And then yeah, then I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I get the basics now. I don't really need his help anymore. I'll
yes.
occasionally
Thank
ask him
you,
questions.
Jedi Master. Now I'm going to learn on my own.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
cool.
goal. And now I'm gonna create a whole bunch of Jedi underneath.
There, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Awesome.
Well, hey man, thanks. I'll let you get back to it. Really appreciate it. Glad we could do this because we had a couple times we didn't make it.
Yeah.
But it was good. So
No, exciting stuff, man.
take care, man. Get some good
All right.
rest. Pace
See you,
yourself.
Dan.
All right.
You too,
All
buddy.
right. See you, man. Bye.
Bye.